Thanks for watching. We're back with another episode of We're Working on That. We're your hosts, Jay, Richard, and my boy Jeff.
This is Jay.
Last week we did a really fun episode on code switching. I wish we had a little bit more time to get into it, but man, I'm telling you, we're not going to have to do that again. It was awesome. A lot of stuff we could have talked about that we didn't really get a chance to get into. Maybe invite some guests, get some other opinions on it, and we're looking forward to that interaction. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube page. It's been a little while since we got in this room and we're able to record again. So catch us up on the week.
I don't know if you guys can tell he's trying to be a news anchor. This shit's really got him motivated. But welcome back, guys. Sorry for the little break. Excuses we got them. But anyway, since we've been out, what have I been up to just personally? Same stuff as always, man. Hustling. You know, the rental properties, work. Had a vessel that literally ran aground. Like the thing came up on shore, kind of a big deal. Had to respond to that, so that was a whole mess. But yeah, what else? School, and of course, been riding that motorcycle. Not as much as I want to, but yeah.
You already know what it is.
I almost got a Harley. I got that cheap ass Yamaha, but it works.
A bike is a bike.
There you go.
It's like therapy. I was telling somebody yesterday when I would get off of work and I just had like a stressful day and there was really nothing to do, get off late. It's like I don't really want to deal with people. I would get on my bike and I would just do a loop around the city and I would go home feeling so refreshed.
Yeah.
And people talk about going to therapy and talking about your feelings. Those are people that don't ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So haven't been riding as much as I want. Obviously, one, busy, but then two, cold. Like I was telling Jane before we started, I went for a little ride yesterday and I was confident. I thought I had the right gear on, suited up with the right layers of clothing. But I got out there, I hit about 50 miles per hour. I said, that'll do it. I turned the motherfucker right back and came right back home. It was too damn cold.
That's the thing, buddy. That weather out there will seriously own you. It's like, it'll trick you. Like, you look outside right now, it's a beautiful day, the sun's out, it looks like it's just going to be warm and inviting. You get out there, that wind will kick your ass.
Yeah.
Kick your ass back to
And I got that big ass shield too. It still don't help, man. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. Actually, this weekend I got my Navy Reserve since so I'm kind of like sneaking off a little bit to do that right now. But that's it, man. That's it for me. How about you, man?
I'm really glad that you're getting the ride, and I just want to take a moment to talk about safety. You talk about you get out there and the weather kicks your butt. Man, anytime you hop on a bike, put your protective gear on, whether it's a jacket, your gloves, if you might be cold, or just take those precautions so you don't have to worry about that.
You know, it's crazy, man, that like my wife was telling me that like one of the like number one things that like EMS and like nurses and people that work in hospitals, they say like that number one thing that they would never do is ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do the kind of work I do, and they say they'll never ride a motorcycle. They think it's crazy that I can ride a motorcycle, but it's like, and like I said, I find so much enjoyment from it. It makes me feel good physically and mentally. I feel refreshed. I think I mentioned to you before that I rode my bike. Of course I mentioned to you this before. It's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. I rode from Houston, Texas to Washington, D.C. And by the time I got home, I felt like my insides were different. I felt healed.
That sounds awesome, man.
I felt healed from things that I didn't even know I needed healing from.
That's that real therapy, like you said.
You ever feel so good, like I didn't even know I could feel this good. That's how I felt, man. It was a beautiful thing. So
that's awesome, man. And with that, a word from our sponsors.
Here at I Don't Give a Fuck What You Think About Me, we really strive for greatness. We want people to live free of judgment and just not giving a fuck. Hey, if you think you don't like what you think I'm thinking, I don't give a fuck. If you think I look mean when I'm walking in the hallways and I don't like you, first of all, you're probably right. Second of all, I don't give a fuck. Now, back to the show.
With that, first of all, I just want to say thankful, grateful for our sponsors, but rolling into a topic we've been wanting to talk about, man, really for a while, and you know.
Yeah, then we got some feedback. The people want to hear this, so you asked, we listened, we responded.
Yeah, And with that, it's been on our whiteboard for a few weeks now. We just kind of like kept tucking it back, and we actually tried to talk about it on one episode. That episode didn't get posted, but we realized quickly that like the little bit of time we tried to squeeze it into just was not enough. So with that, moving forward, toxic relationships, and yeah, man, I know, right? That's it, right? And with that, we're talking about family, toxic relationships,
romantic toxic relationships. It's a really broad topic, like a lot of coverage, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching could relate to really either aspect of it. Man.
I would even say maybe like work toxic relationships. I was listening to a Navy buddy I called last week, and I was just thinking about this because like I was like, dude, that's a whole nother relationship that you just don't think about until you're in it. Yeah. And he was telling me about he works in a predominantly female atmosphere. He's like one of the few men that's in there, and he's like, it just seems like there's one girl that's got it out for him, and like, yeah, it's like, damn, I don't deal with that one, but
I think once you can identify a toxic relationship and learn the remedy for it, you can really progress through life easy, like work, boom. I'm not stressed about it because I've identified this as toxic. I know how to establish the particular boundaries that we need to continue to move forward in a professional setting, or establish boundaries with family members so they're not disrespecting me or taking advantage of me. And the same thing in a romantic relationship. If you're getting your ass beat, I mean,
it's funny, but it's not funny, my bad. Excuse that, my bad. It's not funny.
Man,
domestic violence is not the answer, by no means.
That is not a joke. We'll get another sponsorship for this.
Yep, sorry guys.
Yeah. Damn, what was I about to say?
So what I was gonna say, I guess the reason why the one about the work toxic relationship really like kind of hit me with some awe was because, as you mentioned, the romantic deal, if shit really is that bad, and like I get it, you know, I can't leave Greg, he's got my CDs in his truck, you know, you got reasons why, that was some sarcasm, I'm still here with it. Anyway, moving on, I'm saying, he got my CDs in his truck, I can't leave.
I want people want an explanation.
I stole that, actually, that's what's that damn comedian's name? Old ass stand up. Shit, I have to come back to you guys with the dude's name. White guy, white comedian. It was like one of the funniest things he ever said. But anyway,
you know, Wilson?
Nah, what the hell is his name?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Romantic relationships, things get too bad, you could eventually leave, right? Family relationships, guilty as charged. Not working out with siblings or your mom or your dad, you just cut them off.
And so you say cut them off, I'll put it a little bit more gentle than that. Love them from a distance.
Cut them off. Cut them off. And like, it doesn't feel good. But to get my point out real quick.
It doesn't feel good initially, but
it still don't feel good, man. It's been a while for me too. I fucking hate it, man, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you hate cutting them off?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a situation you should address.
And I meet with that. But look, I don't want to get away from my point. We'll come back to that. Point is, the work, toxic relationships, that's a weird one because we all gotta work. And granted, you could go find a job, but especially like right now, it ain't easy to find another job. So if you gotta work this job and you've done your best to try to establish boundaries or whatever the case to deal with this toxic coworker, and it's still not enough, and you just gotta be showing up 5 days a week, that shit sounds tough, man. Like I couldn't even imagine.
It is tough if you don't have the proper remedies to the situation. And like let's say, when I say don't have the proper remedies, it should be something that can be worked out through communication. Once you establish a relationship or a situation that's toxic, what can you do about it? Talk to this person about why this has become toxic, how it's affecting you at work. Maybe there's a supervisor. Hopefully it's not your supervisor that's making it toxic. That's also a possibility. But it got to be somebody who can, what's it called? I was going to say narrate the situation.
Mediate?
Yeah, mediate the situation and get y'all through that. But you got to know how to establish those boundaries, know what you will put up with and what you won't put up with. Because one thing, a toxic relationship, we talk about 3 different kinds. One thing certain across the board, if you let somebody run over you, they will. And so you gotta establish that boundary and stick to it as hard as it is. So, with that being said, we talked about the 3 different types of toxic relationships. We'll get into family.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you want me to kick it off? So, yeah, man, this, and like I said at the beginning of this, when we started trying to talk about this in the episode that never survived and never made it, I caught myself stumbling quite a bit, trying to beat around the bush and walk on eggshells, just based off the potential that maybe my family would see this one day, and they're like, wow, that really how he feels about us.
But I don't give a fuck what you think about me.
So, yeah. So, yeah, kind of what James says, but at the same time, I don't want to say anything false. And so I had to kind of prep myself for this one and really like have a conversation with myself that like, nah, everything that I feel and potentially I'm about to say, none of it's like made up and like none of it's not like an exaggerated truth or anything like that. It's all, you know what I mean? Like it all happened for a reason. So yeah, man, I've got some sisters and a brother. Never met my dad officially. Just found out who the dude was 3 years ago through. That'd be a good plug for Ancestry.com. If we had, you know what I mean? So Ancestry.com, good looking out. They helped me find my biological dad.
And I found out I'm related to his wife.
Yeah, we did, right? It's like 1% or something like that.
Bro, I'm Nigerian.
Boy, from Lagos, you're
No. Don't even do me like that.
But anyway, yeah, so my family and I, we kind of grew up, and when we grew up, we ended up wanting different things. So the song, and I know everybody hates the dude now, but the song that I can always tie to this situation is that one by Slim Thug with Joel Osteen, that old joint came out like
Eagles soar.
So with Eagles. And he said, what he said? He said, by no means am I a Joel Osteen fan, but I thought the song was beautiful. He said like, God, they may not have put them on the same path as you. It doesn't make them wrong or something like that. Anyway, I love the song, but yeah, exactly that, man. Like, they're not, my siblings and my mom, they're not bad people by no means. I just wanted a lot more out of life. And so anytime that it was time to hang out with them, I had to put in the max effort, and then when I did put in the max effort and come around, like we just like wanted to do completely different things. Like I wanted to go like on adventures and see new shit and open my mind, and like it's not what they wanted. It was like a lot of closed-minded type thinking, I guess. But anyway, simply put, man, toxic relationships with family is tough, but like James said, it's possible to get through it with the boundaries you set, and yeah, man, just stop. If it's easy to be pushed over if you allow it, and so I kind of reached the point. I see that phone ringing, bro. Let that shit go to voicemail. So they did that enough that now they don't even call me anymore. So it's kind of a peaceful, moment. But
yeah, I want to just preface this by saying I love my family dearly, each and every one of you. I love you all to death and from a distance. Not just to the point to where like I love my family so much, and I want to help them. I want to see the world, and I want my family to see the world. I was at an event last night, very nice, beautiful event, and I was there by myself, and the only thing I was thinking was like, damn, I wish that maybe my brother was here, or my sister, or even my mom was here.
That's the worst thoughts too, man.
Because this is amazing. I've been finding myself in some amazing situations, and I just want to be able to share it with them. But with that being said, sticking to the topic of toxic relationships, people will take advantage of you. We said specifically family. I think there are certain character traits that make a person family, and that's like how they will treat you. And there's some people that I don't share blood with, and they have treated me better than and people that I've looked in the face my whole life. And so you still gotta love these people, but from a distance, set the boundaries. Hey, this is what I won't put up with. No, you can't do this. If I call you, hey, let's hang out, let's go get something to eat, let's chop it up, let's talk. And every time you call me is, hey, you got some money. Hey, can I get a ride? Hey, can I get this? Can I get that? What are you doing for me? And it's just like, I'm not dealing with those type of relationships anymore.
Yeah, man.
I wish
it's
you the best.
expensive.
I'll still help out when I can. Can't help it. I will give, but
You're better than me, bro. Yeah, I got it.
and I think the hardest thing to say regarding this whole situation for me personally is that myself, it hurt me, right? It hurt to the point that I came to the decision that this person that I loved, I just got to put some distance between them, because that's not exactly what I want. But, it's part of establishing that boundary and realizing what has to happen. What are you going to put up with? And how long are you going to put up with it? And how far is this going to go? Are you going to love yourself more or love yourself enough to not get run over? So, yeah, that's on that.
And it's weird, man, because I think we're kind of similar in this aspect. Maybe just a little bit, maybe a lot. But anyway, I'm very critical of myself, and what I mean is, like, I try to see where I went wrong in whatever situation it is, and I do that because, like, I don't want nothing to be flipped back on me. Well, oh, you didn't do your part. That's why things worked out the way they did. And so, yeah, I kind of maybe overanalyze, situations, everything. And so this one being one of them, toxic relationships with family. And so I've always questioned, am I doing the right thing? And it still pops up in my head, am I doing everything I need to do? And after some well thought and sitting down and really trying to analyze it as best as I could, yeah, I walk away from every self-conversation saying to myself, hey man, I'm doing the best I can. You know what I mean? Is that fair to say?
I get the point that you're trying to make, but the last thing you said, you walk away from every self-conversation like you did the best you can. I think the only way to truly have the results that you're seeking with this conversation is to have it with somebody else.
Oh, but I have. That's the thing. Of course I have.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you just put it out there, it's like, did I do anything wrong? No.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wrong? That doesn't even sound right.
What do I think I am thinking I'm wrong?
Who do I think I am thinking I'm wrong?
Yeah, so to clear that up, yeah, I get what he's saying. He's definitely right. But yeah, no, I constantly ask myself, just checking in, making sure that I'm not straying too far and getting too crazy. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, man. I feel like we could talk about this one for a while, but to move on, I don't know, maybe romantic relationships.
Oh my goodness.
Right, that's, yeah, man.
Man, a romantic relationship, toxic or not, it will teach you some things about yourself. Like myself, for instance. So I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I myself involved in a very toxic romantic relationship.
Currently?
Currently.
Okay. What makes it toxic, if you don't mind me asking?
Well,
if you.
No, that's a great question. So I guess we can really get into something we failed to address before. What makes a relationship toxic? And I guess, does it have the foundation to grow into a healthy, thriving relationship? In the beginning, if the answer is no, boom, you're setting yourself up for a toxic relationship. And that's exactly what I have done. I found myself in a romantic endeavor with a woman, with a boyfriend. Or man, whatever he is to her. It can't be that much because she's coming from me, right? Coming to me for something.
So she had a partner.
She has a
had a partner, yeah.
Has a partner.
Okay.
And so I learned about myself prior to being in this situation. You hear the jokes like, "Oh, I want to be a side dude. I don't got no responsibility." We're having all the fun, zero of the responsibilities, right? You don't have to spend no money. Being a side dude is very cheap. It's a cost-effective way to enjoy your time with someone. Well, what I learned about myself is that I am not side dude material. I want to spend some of that money.
Yeah.
Shoot, you getting your hair done, and then you gonna spend your time on your birthday with your boyfriend? How dare you? He's like, I thought we had something. and so yeah, man, I gotta get out of this situation. But then when she's with him, I'm like, man, I gotta get out. This is toxic. And then when she comes to me, the toxicity grows because I'm deeper into the situation. I can't get out.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. It reminds me, no kidding, man. I remember when I was active duty, I was probably 23, 24, something like that. So, shit, over 10 years ago. Forgive me for my sins. I was fooling with this married broad. Her husband.
Shame on her.
Her husband was also in the Navy.
Oh, shame on you.
And he was out at sea. And yeah, man, we were messing around. Anyway, so getting to my point, I remember
when he come back from deployment and she put you on the back burner.
It wasn't even that. This was a scandalous woman. I'll say that. And what I'll say even more is I wasn't the only side dude.
But could you be surprised?
No, at the end, of course I wasn't surprised. But what I'm trying to say is, I hear your point. I remember seeing her with another dude when we were out clubbing, and she was with another guy. Bro, that low-key broke my heart a little bit. I was like, damn, I can't believe I'm being so effective.
It was at that moment I realized, I want some of the responsibilities. Let me take you out.
Oh, shit.
What you with him for?
Yeah.
What you with me for? That's the question I really need to get asked.
Yeah, it's some weird shit, man.
What are you with me for? Toxic relationship. I mean, that's a current situation, but handful of other toxic relationships, maybe some previous experiences other than being with somebody that's with somebody else.
I got an ex-wife, you know what I mean? That's that's a tough situation.
I can tell the way you let that out. It was like bad gas, bro.
Yeah. That's how it felt constantly. I mean, it still haunts me because I do have a kid with her. You know what I mean? So, man.
Shout out to the kid.
Yeah. No, I do love my son.
You know he watches this?
I know. He does, and I don't know how I feel about that.
He got me on Instagram, and I was just like,
did he? Yeah.
What's up, little nephew?
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. But nah, it's just the relationship that I had with her was very, very. It was probably the example of toxic, man. Like,
so I guess let's dive in. What were some of the early signs of this relationship being toxic?
Man. So we got together for the wrong reasons. We got married for the wrong reasons, and man, early signs. I'd say, yeah, just how we were interacting with each other. It just didn't seem.
What is that? What is that interaction?
Like, it just didn't seem like love. Like, it seemed like we were doing what we had to do. You know what I mean? Like,
interesting.
And yeah, man, like, I don't need to say it. I don't think so. Like, if the couple doesn't, love each other, like, that's not like there at all. Then yeah, it's just gonna be weird, not work. You know what I mean? But,
man, something you said just now is like y'all didn't love each other. Y'all just kind of did what y'all had to do. Just playing the role, just moving through life like a business, right? Not really getting
exactly.
enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
I want to stray off topic for a minute because I want everybody to think about this. You get a job, you pay your bills, you go home, you wake up, you do the same thing again. And if you're not enjoying that, you really need to take a moment to figure out what it is that you will enjoy doing and start doing it, because your life belongs to you. And people need to start realizing that even my bosses, my life belongs to me. Now, back to toxic relationships. I was in a toxic relationship previous to the one I'm in now. Man, I think I got too many to really talk about.
It's life, man.
But you learn some things about yourself in these particular relationships. I was dating a girl that gave me so much attention, and I loved it. She was like, everything was me, right? She loved me so much. This is what I felt. I felt that she loved me so much. She didn't want me to do things without her. She wanted to be around at every event that I was going to. She supported the hell out of me more than anybody ever did. And I'm thinking she loved me so much. But toward the end of the relationship, it was horrible. And I found out that she was like that, and it had nothing to do with me. It was to do with her own particular
Obsessiveness.
No, her insecurities with herself, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can you be so insecure? And how does that reflect on all the attention you give me?
Yeah.
But it was basically, she liked making me happy, and in return, I'll make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I guess in a way, it didn't have anything to do with me being happy. It was just, she would do things so that I would have like a positive reaction to how she felt. And if she did something, and she's expecting this particular reaction, if I wasn't giving it to her, if that reaction didn't result the way that she was deeming it should, crazy shit would happen. Unspeakable things. I would say them, but they're obviously unspeakable. And I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, man. I hate to leave it there, but I feel like with that, and just, again, the toxic relationships, I feel like we've been on this one for a few minutes, so we'll have to visit it again, dude.
Just like code switching, this is a topic we're going to have to go to. If we get more interaction on the YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, check us out on Instagram, R&R, a couple of underscores in there. Leave us some feedback.
Thanks for checking in with us, guys. Really appreciate all the views, all the love. Again, as you said earlier, that one, we out.
I can dab out of here?
Dab out, man. We be like, these are old motherfuckers.